get to the rest of the song. Copyright infringement. Oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Let's Talk Musique.
I'm JR.
I'm Ty. And oh, Lord, Thunder and Jesus, boy,
Oh,
we got an
my.
episode for you today, bud.
Oh, Stompin' Tom, do we ever?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Come on. Canadian
Oh.
legends. What does this have to do with our show today?
We are we're just gonna talk and pay tribute to everything Canadian.
Canadian? You ain't like some Canadiana?
Some of them northern Canuckers. Huh?
Did they get really good music out of Canada?
They get amazing music out of Canada, Jay. And they have always gotten amazing music out of Canada.
Yep.
And from all parts of this great land.
All over this great country.
All over this great land. Hey, you know where you should go in this great land?
Where are we going?
2741 East Hastings Street. That is West Coast Guitars, the sponsor of this episode. You want to shred like my man JJR here, bud? You want to shred that gnarl? Them thick.
I got them thick gauges. Where'd you buy them? Down at West Coast Custom Guitars.
2741 East Hastings.
There you go.
You need to get down there. Please, guys, go check them out. A beautiful shop. Wonderful people who run the place. Go, please, and check them out.
Go.
All right, Jay. Let's fucking go, eh?
Let's fucking go, eh? That's FUBAR, buddy. FUBAR. Yeah, we're talking Canadiana stuff today.
We're talking Canadian stuff today. We figured we'll just alienate anybody who was watching this in the States.
It's not about that. We'll do American music one day.
Yeah.
But this is just because even like as a musician and you as well, I'm sure you noticed growing up, we actually have a lot of talent that came out of here.
It's insane.
It is an insane amount of talent out of Canada. Like the list is too long. This is just a list of just things I wrote down in the last couple hours. And I just had to highlight, like, I'm not going to deep dive all these bands, but just to let you know, Rush, BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, I'm just mentioning big ones here. The Tragically Hip, 5440, Bryan Adams, Neil Young, Blue Rodeo, Tom Cochrane, the Guess Who, Joni Mitchell, Alanis Morissette, Maestro Fresh West. Like there's just it's nonstop, and like I mentioned Maestro Fresh West because it's not just rock. Like Canadian hip hop was a huge thing and influence, like it and folk and fucking everything. Folk, all of it. Ashley McIsaac, like Great Big Sea, some Eastern rock music. Like you get it all from across Canada here, man.
Oh,
and
bud.
Yeah, buddy. What are some big Canadian bands for you? Like, what are your biggest ones?
The big ones that, like, for me, it was definitely like the rock because you start. I think like your uncles introduced you to like there's. And I like you as you highlighted these bands. I will highlight that one of the most Canadian things you can do is to point out whenever a band or anyone famous is from Canada.
Yeah, my cousin knew them.
So there's a great like love and sort of like
we adore
it's a bit of a because it's such a fresh country. It kind of is what our culture. Yeah, a bit of our culture as being a Canadian.
We like to keep as big as these bands get and have gotten in their life. Us as Canadians, there's something inside. We like to keep. We think they're still in our bubble. We like to think that groups like I just mentioned are still. That's our Canadian treasure. Like, but these are worldwide renowned artists.
Yeah.
But we hold them dear and we adore them as Canadians.
Yeah. I mean, the hip, that's like the biggest one for me. Like, I don't even think we're going to do a top 5 for this.
No,
like,
I don't
we're
think
just
so either.
Talk.
I'll mention a few songs that have influenced me throughout. But I'm also, like, a lot of this influenced me is 90s Canadian music and early 2000s. Like,
Jagged Little Pill, bro.
Oh, my God. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was actually just going to say Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
But when I wanted to pick a song, I said Jagged Little Pill. Just the
fucking album is
you ought to know.
Great videos.
Just amazing videos, yes. One Hand in My Pocket, ironic, like just wow, that ironic video was that was so fun to watch on Much Music back in the 90s. But yeah, so exactly that. Sarah McLachlan, not saying that she didn't
not
have a
just
huge
for the
influence
SPCA commercials,
right? I was gonna say that her biggest influence on me is the commercials and Lilith Fair, maybe.
You can't. How unfair is that? You can't play. You can't play. No. I will remember you as you look at a dog dying.
That's right.
That's the worst.
Leave it to a Canadian to do that to your heart and soul.
Every time.
Every time. For me, like bands like Our Lady Peace, I Mother Earth, like
bro.
Sloan. Sloan was so huge.
Let's go, man.
Like
Sloan was shit.
so amazing, and I don't think they don't get the respect that they deserve as Canadian. Like it's unfortunate, but
I think they get the respect. They get the respect
in Canada.
In Canada.
When I say that, yes, I mean.
But let's talk about this because we kind of were before this because we wanted to highlight some things. There's a certain weird thing that happens. And I don't know if it's like a incremental thing where it's like 1 out of every 10 artists is allowed to leave Canada and and be successful worldwide. Sloan is one that they were just like, no,
yeah,
you can't.
You're right.
It feels like you just can't. The Hip to a certain, I mean, Hip are probably in like Buffalo, like some like New Yorker kind of states,
Northern American,
Seattle, but even then, man, I've seen the Hip in Seattle and it was like the tiniest show, and like here it was like a big fucking deal.
I saw them here. I saw them in Ontario, and I saw them in Red Deer, Alberta. They just like that's
one of the best
audience, right?
first show I've ever saw.
Yeah,
first show.
Me too.
Sam Roberts opened.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh shit. We might
probably
have saw the same tour.
Yeah, dude. That's probably.
Yeah, you're right.
See that we were meant to do this show, Jay.
What a full circle.
Oh my god! On episode 11.
Yes, you're right. Whoa. Yeah, there's so much like Canadian. What was I going to mention? Oh, so like Sloan, the Trues, another Canadian, like just great rock,
fucking
but
gob.
Canadian gob. Oh my god,
Propagandy.
Propagandy. Yeah, Vancouver alone.
Like, the amount and like I said, from every fucking pocket, there's just this weird ass, amazing punk scene in Winnipeg that happened sometime in the fucking 90s.
You're right.
You know, and like that shit blew up. It's this land.
Biff Naked from Winnipeg.
Oh, there you go. Yes. I believe you were mad
I
earlier, but
mentioned
she did not get
on
enough
Facebook
cred.
that as far as females in rock, and especially Canadian, I think Biff Naked I get it. She's not one of the first. She wasn't the first. She wasn't any of that, but she stood on her own. Like,
what about that Lavigne?
Avril Lavigne, obviously that was like a next.
We should have wore the neckties.
Oh my god,
for that.
Avril, skater boy.
We probably looked more.
I would be her skater boy.
We looked more Avril Lavigne in last episode.
Right.
We did.
I look like Avril after she got divorced from Chad Kroger and just gained some weight and just sat around eating fucking half moons and like just passion flakies. But yeah, Avril Lavigne, huge. Exactly. That's who, and that's someone who broke worldwide and like
for sure.
I had such a crush on her. But 90s, I mean, but then like
the Eye of Shadow.
Matthew Good Band.
Bud.
5440, buddy. Exactly. 5440. So with Matthew Good, like bands like Big Wreck. Like I love Big Sugar, even Ian Thornley. Like that guy's what a guitar player. I don't know if like you ever got a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
To see him. That guy rips it live. I saw him live in Ontario. Sum 41, Moist. Like just I love saying that name, Moist. But then 3 Days Grace, like just so much good rock. But then rock. Like that's just the rock part. But
then there's country and shit. You get Joni Mitchell on the fucking scene, who's like, just what is this? No one knew what the fuck that was. What the hell is Can anyone explain to me what Joni Mitchell is? What is a Joni Mitchell? She is a one of a kind.
She is a one of a kind.
100%.
You can't describe her by saying. Well,
she literally thinks of music in color. So like, what is a Joni Mitchell? You know what I mean?
What
is a Leonard Cohen?
That's a Jeopardy question.
What is a Leonard Cohen? Same thing.
Yeah, that's what you could say. Like both of them, they're just.
Is a Leonard Cohen a Joni Mitchell and a Joni Mitchell a Leonard Cohen? I mean, I feel like they do share some sort of.
There's
mystique.
Something maybe going.
Yeah,
on.
There's some weirdo shit.
Intertwined. What about Canadian hip hop and stuff? Anything stick out in your mind?
Oh man. Maestro for sure.
Maestro Fresh West.
Yeah.
Like, Let Your Backbone Slide.
Are we counting Sean Paul?
I think we should.
I mean, Drake, obviously, I get it,
yeah.
but
I guess Sean Paul, because
I'll put Sean Paul over Drake if I can.
If I can too, I would too. I loved when Sean Paul was working with Cardinal, like so much. Cardinal, he did so much work for Baby Blue.
Man,
the Baby Blue Sound Crew. That's to me when Sean Paul broke. And that's
Agreed.
Toronto. Like, that's Canada, man.
Yeah, dude.
He came here and he broke in Canada.
Yeah.
With Baby Blue Sound Crew and then Cardi.
And look,
all-
before everyone, we're gonna get a bunch of fucking shit on this. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a half an hour episode.
Right.
So calm.
That's why I rushed through those bands because
Cool your jets, bud.
That's why I
Cool
rushed
your
through those
Winnipeg
names.
Jets.
And think
And we can't get through everything. Okay, these are just we're just talking.
Yep.
Okay.
Another other rock, I guess just the last couple of rock before more hip hop. I wanted to say Treble Charger. They had some catchy tunes on
How
Much
about
Music.
everyone but Levon Hellman, the band?
Yeah, there you go.
Robbie fucking Robertson.
The
bro.
April
Like,
Wine.
Oh,
we got
that's
ours. And when I mention these bands and I say
fucking
like,
Chilliwack,
that's ours.
bud.
Chilliwack, dude.
Seen Chilliwack in Chilliwack.
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking
That's
suck on that. Yeah, bro.
Inception style stuff. More hip hop for me. Like when I think Canadian hip hop, what's big for me is Rascals. Speaking of Vancouver, Swollen Members from Vancouver. Like
RDS represent that Red Dragon skateboards.
And Shaw Claire, like growing up in Ontario, like Toronto, like you got your Scarborough, you got Chaos. Chaos is so good, man. Crabs in the bucket, and like come on,
dude.
like that was
It's
amazing.
endless. There's
Socrates,
such good, yeah.
Shaw Claire, all from that area for me. One of the biggest female MCs, like born in Jamaica, but grew up and raised Mishi Me, blowing up in Canada. It was a blow up from Canada. All those things are so amazing. Tea Party. Oh, there's
the
just
Tea Party.
The Tea Party. There's too many songs by the Tea Party.
Like, they get that Vetter
like
voice.
Fire in the Head, Sister Awake, Temptation, Temptation, like big shiny tunes. I'm telling you, just get Big Shiny Tunes albums, the first like 10 or 12 of
or
those.
just a fucking much of the dance mix,
there's some-
92s, 93s.
That is a lot of
That is the
Canadian
fucking-
content. Yeah.
For tons of Canadian content
So,
on those, dude.
Remember Brand Van 3000 from there? Like
What
smoking
the
and drinking
hell?
in LA. Yeah, they're from Montreal.
At 26.
Montreal band.
I seen I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy shit from Montreal, and then, I will say this.
Oh, remember?
I do apologize for me being a francophone, but I'm on the West Coast. The amount of shit that we are not exposed to that are like French bands that are unbelievable, and I just can't name you them. There are like there's so many.
There is so many.
But they're all it's super good. There's some amazing French music that comes out of this country too.
How about like even Loverboy? Loverboy is
dude.
from Calgary.
Corey Hart, bud.
Corey Hart.
Fucking sunglasses. Of course, Neil Young. I don't know if we did that yet.
It was in my list, but again, Neil Young. Like I'll mention even a song from him, Old Man. Like that is, like there's a live video of Neil Young when he's young playing Old Man. He's like, I just wrote this the other day or something.
It's at Massey Hall.
Yeah,
it's live at Massey Hall.
It's a very popular video. Yeah, and he explains what it's about the rancher and that. And but he's just fiddling on the guitar while he's talking, and you just like it's a.
I love when he tells the photographer not to take photos.
That's right. Yeah,
because the clicks are out of time.
Yes,
it's kind of ruining what I'm trying to do up here. He's got a bit of Kermit the Frog vibe. Right?
Yeah, when he's not
he's never quite gonna fucking do this, but like,
before I
think about the last. Well, hold on. Think about the Last Waltz, right? Like you've seen the Last Waltz.
Yeah.
One of the band's last concerts. Think about how many people are Canadian in there.
Right.
Like it's fucking Joni Mitchell's on that. Basically, like I said, other than Levon Helm, the whole band, Screaming Ronnie Hawkins, Neil Young's there. There's not Emily Harris, but there's a couple like background singers too. There's like speaking of background singers and she's not a background singer. She's a brilliant singer by herself. But I always think of her in a Roy Orbison's Black and White Night, where it's like one of Roy's last concerts, and it's at this really cool like studio or like this like diner kind of like just hall thing. It's amazing, and everyone on stage is like super famous, but they're just like playing backups for Roy Orbison. Like it's like Bruce Springsteen's on guitar, Tom Waits is playing guitar and piano.
The ultimate super cool backing band.
Katie Lang's on backups, dude. Katie Lang,
Canadian
is on
legend.
Backups. Holy shit, dude!
Really, eh?
Yeah, and it's so good, dude. It is so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, she fucking kills it.
Oh yeah, great point. Yeah, Katie Lang. A couple other. I gotta mention probably one of the biggest Canadian 90s rock band, Finger 11 for me. Like
Oh,
they were
right.
so good, man.
Dang, all right, a little fromage.
Buddy, man. There's Finger 11, no matter what they did, like they have so many songs, but and I even listened to them when they were their former band. They released an album under their old name, Rainbow Butt Monkeys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then they turned into Finger 11, and yeah, I was really proud of them for Canadian rock, like at the time. Yeah, they held it down in that scene.
Shout out to just overall just Much Music growing up.
Yeah, Much Music really promoted a lot of it.
Well, they kind of had to. They had to.
We get it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still happening today.
Yeah, we have like well, let's talk about that. That's I think an important part to talk about with music and art in Canada is the Canadian content law.
Yep.
So we have a law here that's like if you have a radio show, let's say, you have to play a certain amount of Canadian content throughout that hour, which is a great thought.
Yeah.
And it's great. The problem with this is it's supposed to promote new Canadian artists. The problem with this is that you could just get away with playing any one of these we've just mentioned.
That we've already mentioned.
You can put a Celine Dion song on.
Celine Dion, that's
and she's amazing.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, and you're good to go,
and
right?
You're
or Drake,
fine.
or fucking whatever.
So are you really promoting
new
people
Canadian
who need
artists?
to be promoted?
Not really.
People who don't get the exposure?
Yeah.
Good
It is
point.
cool. But for anyone who doesn't know, we didn't have MTV up here. Like unless you had a friend who would have like a giant satellite dish in his house. Like that didn't happen.
Yeah.
We had Much Music.
But I was really proud of Much Music.
Much Music was great. Ed the Sock and
Ed the Sock, which is another thing. Go check out what Ed the Sock's doing now.
Okay.
He's bringing back New Music something called New Music Nation, and
Sick.
it's supposed to be a Much Music format online with shows and VJs again.
Dope. Who's your favorite VJ?
It's George Stroumboulopoulos, just because he was the metal dude.
Mm-hmm.
So watching Much Loud and him, I've run into George quite a bit living and growing up in Toronto and being around the City TV building.
He dated a girl I went to high school with.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he was always just such a good heart around Toronto. And I don't know, man. I love Rick the Temp, too.
So what's it? So George went on to do, like, he did Hockey Night in Canada for a while. I don't know if he still did.
I don't think he didn't last too long.
I don't think he knows that much about hockey.
He had his own talk thing on CBC, too. Like
his show,
yeah.
But that show with the red chairs...
Yeah.
This George Stroumboulopoulos show was like that was an amazing interviewing show. He did such a great job. He's really, really good.
He did. A big fan of George. Shout out to George Stroumboulopoulos.
And then Rick went to like Entertainment Canada,
went to
ET Canada.
Yeah, ET Canada. Rick is the temp. I
Rick
still call him the temp. I still call him the temp.
The temp. Oh man, if I saw that dude, I would. Have you met Rick the temp?
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember when they were doing that actual contest. I applied, like I wanted to be.
Okay.
I was too young.
When did you meet Rick the temp? Was he like?
So it was late '90s.
Okay.
Yeah, like he was still he was Rick the temp.
He was Rick the fucking temp.
He's still doing interviews at Much Music in the studio, and I was still outside banging on the windows. Of the City TV building, dude. Like
that's like a dream for growing up on the West
Speaker's
Coast.
Corner was right there. So very Canadian. Speaker's Corner. I want that back. I don't know. Is that
there was one that they did have one here, but it was in a really fucking weird location. It was in a location
there
used to do auditions.
So much. Speaking of Speaker's Corner, oh my God, you just bare naked ladies.
How did
Canadian
we not
treasure
mention that? Yeah, that's
started their career inside of a Speaker's Corner booth, the one at City TV. They went in there, put their dollar in, their loony, their Canadian loony,
bud.
and they played songs. All 5 of them jammed into that speaker's box. And then they would play Speaker's Corner on the weekend, and that caught on. That was going viral. They went viral
that was
on
the going.
Speaker's Corner. How cool is that? I absolutely adore it. Like, there's Canada for you.
That's the most Canadian shit, yeah.
Before the internet, there was Speaker's Corner. They would play them on Saturday and Sundays on our channel in Ontario, Channel 7. These memories don't go away. But I can't remember like my set half the time when I'm on stage. I can still remember my phone numbers. But okay, yeah. So I mentioned Finger 11. A couple other hip hop artists, Classified. I think need to get mentioned from Nova Scotia and stuff
for sure.
Big Ashley McIsaac. He brought the rock folk to us in the
man. That 2000s. Fucking that kind of gypsy vibe, bro.
Yeah. Anything else you want to mention, or you think we forgot, or?
I just think there is such. I just think it's important to say there is, and as much as like the bands we've mentioned, there's a ton of bands that have come out of Canada that are amazing, but there are a ton of current bands that are absolutely phenomenal.
That's right.
And you need to go check that shit out.
Yeah. We're here to discuss how these things had an impact on us, but that Canadian content didn't stop when
Yeah.
when Much Music died.
There's so many good bands
just
out
because
there.
Much Music isn't there,
And
the
they
music
need
is still being
they
made.
kind of need that support more than ever right
So now it's YouTube. Go support Canadian music. Like go listen to a Canadian playlist of music of current artists. And see what's out there, because there's still some great ones out there doing things, and we need to still support them. Is there any certain songs that stick out to you? I know I'll start Northern Touch by Rascals. So Canadian, like I got it with Cardinal and Chauclair and Thrust, all these Canadian artists.
Any Stompin' Tom song for me is like, of course, pure.
Oh fuck, Stompin' Tom, buddy.
Fireworks by The Hip. I always remind you said you didn't give a fuck about hockey. Well, I never heard someone say that before.
It was so great that they were singing about hockey, wasn't it? Like they talked about hockey so much in their lyrics.
Oh man, so much.
I had one of the greatest English teachers in high school for grade 12 in Alberta. He had a stereo in his class, and he had speakers in each corner. And he would give us lyrics and pick a song for us on a Monday. And by Friday, we had to dissect the lyrics and write an essay about it. And he made us dive into some tragically hip songs, especially
Balcajun?
No. At the time, it was even before that. But what was the one where the Leafs never won a cup? And since then, the Leafs, they never won a cup.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
They won a cup. 19.
Right. So that song, and that's based on a real story about a guy who died when he's fishing or whatever. But anyway, yeah, it was cool. So the Hip were great for Canadian content. Like,
oh man,
as cool as their music was, and I call it cabin music because it's when you go away to the cabin and you bump.
Oh man,
and all those things.
Them hips.
But their early career, even they had some wicked licks.
Oh, New Orleans is Sinking is like that's one of the best licks there. And that again, a lick that's hard to fucking play right.
Hard to play
right.
Yeah. So that was great. Any songs for you? Oh, Glass Tiger, remember?
Oh,
Glass Tiger is Canadian, and just a song, "Don't Forget Me." Come on, that's so Canadian for me.
When I'm gone, don't do it. I wanted to mention this. There's also some great like Indigenous artists that have come out of Canada, and I can't think of none other that has kind of done the most maybe for that music than Buffy St. Marie.
There you go, man.
She's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, she's
that needs to be acknowledged.
So many fire tracks though, like goddamn, and she's been like a real ambassador for all that shit, which is like super cool. But she's always just been like really like poised, and she's like it's a classic Canadian artist. Like she's never in shit. There's never any issue. She's been
you feel
killing
proud
it since the 60s, dude.
Like, yeah, and you feel proud when you support somebody like that who has morals and is always on the bigger, always on the right side of things. And,
yeah, for sure.
And it's important. Like Ty has been mentioning, it's important to support these artists still and recognize them and do some deep diving of your own in the Canadian music and content, because there is so much. Like I still have so many bands that I didn't even mention.
Yeah,
on
we
this.
can't possibly.
We can't possibly do it, but. So we're just whipping out the biggest ones and
whipping them out, bro.
Whipping them out. Any other tracks for you?
I don't think so.
No, that's it. Yeah, I think I've exhausted my Canadian culture stuff right now. We'll have to do a part 2 someday.
For sure. Yeah. We'll
get on that.
There's so much. So thank you to all those beautiful Canadian artists, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe,
share, comment, all that stuff.
Yes,
we love you.
Yes, we love you. We love you. A big thank you to West Coast Guitars for sponsoring this episode. Please go check out 2741 East Hastings Street in Vancouver, British Columbia. Until next time, friends. Peace.